Looks like we do have a little bit of a slowdown on the internet here for our producer, but we're all now back and looking like we didn't miss much, and neither did the enemies, dropping Sarah down to 11 HP. Not ideal for SR, but if YFP can just keep up this lead, then we might be seeing that, one team having a huge advantage on this point. And I was thinking SR was going to be that team with their, 13-2 showcase previously, but now they're going to be all right moving into this next round. And of course, with Sarah so low, that leaves so limited room for entry.
It does. Also considering, not too long ago, Sarah was our first death on Shopify Rebellion's side when they first engaged here over onto A site. Now that opportunity to even get in and get information is gone because Sarah is so low. But we're going to round the corner and they find out the hard way that there is an operator, but the double swing with the deagle, Alexis will find one, but there's a quick trade from Scary Shark right there after, and we lose another Neuro Theft coming online to identify where all these defenders are at. And let's see, Misu not choosing to go for the plant, instead is going to go for the bloodthirsty play. It's going to try and take down a few, but Melia is going to find Misu at that moment.
Wow. Amazing round there from SR. Shoutouts to Sarah. 11 HP, one tap with the Sheriff. Beautifully played on their attack side. And I thought their entry was going to be weakened, but instead it was exactly what they needed to maybe, just maybe, bring this game back into their hands. As with that thrifty round, they have ultimates to spare. They got Alexis with that null command. They have Misu with the Hunter's Fury. And with those two ults alone, you might just be able to focus on a post plant here. And money's fixed. They even have an armor lead. So YFP is going to be going uphill against this team.
And we only have Reckoning online if you're looking at YFP, which, yeah, you can use for re-engagement, or you can just try and get as many picks as possible. I mean, the armored disadvantage here is felt a little bit more, I feel like, when players aren't as good at aiming. But at this level, you take a headshot from a Vandal, you're dead either way if you have half shields or full shields.
Yeah, so, I mean, looking at this, it should be fine. Light shield, light armor might be able to help YFP bounce back in the economy regardless of what the outcome of this round is. But look at Marceline going the high, but unfortunately it's going to be a little bit of a jet diff there with Sarah swinging and getting a pick, leaving now an open sight and a Sova to try to hold for time. A full rotate from 2, but the bomb will be guaranteed to plant. Shock Dart does do a tiny bit of damage. Unfortunately, not too much. A Cypher, perfect ultimate, perfect timing to know everything that YFP is about to throw their way.
I was not surprised at the fact that we opted to use the null command to get into sight, considering Jet has Bladestorm online. We still have that Hunter's Fury, and yes, we even had the Neuro Theft even instigated shortly thereafter, the Spike Plant. And now we see Scary Shark get eliminated. Corrupt is going to fall. We have Hunter's Fury engaged on point, just trying to be a force to reckon with. Melia gets past one of the trip mines, finds 2, and that is going to be another round for Shopify Rebellion.
Nice. This is a little slow but sweet recovery from them after a 3-round lead. And you'd think after YFP was able to win their bonus round, they'd be able to keep that energy going. But something has slowed them down, and I think that something is named Sarah. I mean, honestly, great entries from this Jet. 2 rounds in a row to really seal the deal and bring Shopify back on that scoreboard. However, I do want to see some blades get popped here. I do want to see how we're going to be having YFP try to balance this back, as Marceline is only 3 away, but Sarah's blades are on the forecast. Huge.
The tragedy of this situation is, if you're right before this started, of course, I was looking at economy and it was heavily favoring Shopify Rebellion. We've got the epitome of a Frankenbuy coming out right now for YFP, and I'm wondering if it's still going to work out, considering they only have this Hunter's Fury online. They've lost 2 players. Is the goal here just to maybe do as much economical damage as possible? If you're Corrupt, the answer is yes. We found one, almost found another. Sarah is in, still has, I think, 1 blade left of that Blade Storm. So, I think that's a low chance of showers coming through, but Elaborate over here on the flank. Location is known, only as a Bulldog. It's about to swing into 3 well-placed players. Finds one in a 1v1, but Sarah goes in for the trade.
And that evens us up. Welcome, everybody, to a tied game, 3-3. I also will remind everybody, when YFP won that bonus, that means that in this tournament, Shopify Rebellion has now lost the most amount of rounds in this game on this map. 3 is the new record. Let's see how many more that can increase as a timeout is being called by YFP, as this timeout will hopefully get them their bearings back. They didn't use any ultimates in that last round. They did manage to get a few picks here, get a few ultimate orbs, get their ults online again, and potentially fix their economy. So, they got 38 seconds here. What do you think they're going to be telling each other?
I think really what we're going to be focusing on here is our timing for engagements on point. I mean, we've got Marceline with that classic operator for a Jet player. I mean, it's a bread and butter for most Jets. So what we're looking for is to give Marceline the opportunity to gain space without having a lot of pressure put onto them so that they're able to find those eliminations quickly, use that tailwind, and get out. But we don't want our Jet playing point anymore. That's where things are going to want to change here, because it's a very expensive gun. We saw what happened when our Jet played point without us forcing out util early last time, and that was in round 1 when we were still in pistols. So I honestly think it's engagement timing with utility to allow Marceline to get advantageous positioning without getting spotted early on.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I think Marceline is going to be that player that has to be the, centerfold on what happens at A. It's all depending on this domino. This player is what starts the entire chain here. So let's see what that op is going to do. It's getting a little aggro here. And up against Sarah, that could be either a good thing or a real bad thing. Hunter's Fury, though, early by Corrupt, and actually lands a few hits, maybe. No, actually 0 hits. And talk about 0 hits, it's going to be Marceline having to now bail after the op does not manage the early kill. But they do get a ton of information, but they used up an ult. They gave away that they have an op, and that gives SR a lot of room to work.
Unfortunately, it was the exact opposite of what I was thinking was going to happen, which was intel gathering, util forcing, and then allowing Marceline to pop off. You said it earlier, we revealed we had an op. I think that was very detrimental considering the fact that it changes the mentality of how players will play. I said yes, 1-hit kills with these Vandals, but Sarah, it's taken like 2 and 3 shots to fully find those eliminations. But the Operator is different. The Operator is a guaranteed kill shot if it lands. So that's what's scary about them. But here's, Mel, who gets that 1-shot, 1-kill type of mentality going on the Omen, demonstrating why those are just as scary. But honestly, the Operator's range of lethality is much higher. However, we don't need the op. We just need Bell.
I mean, the Vandal, it is what it is for a reason. 1 hit's from the same range, so you were right. The Vandal is a 1-tap. Maybe, Sarah took a little bit longer to get 2 kills, but it was still 2 for 1, all right? Sarah's still top of the scoreboard, and whenever Sarah falls, Mel picks it up, and if Mel falls, Misu picks it up, and everybody on SR just knows, okay, we're all good for 5 here. Let's just see who's going to be in the kill feed more, and I think that dynamic is what you want coming out of most likely, and this is a cold take, SR is probably the best team in Game Changers right now.
I have no arguments with that, but we also can see that YFP is broke, and so they're choosing to go very forward into the enemy space, if you think about it, and they're pushing into Omen, they're pushing into Noai, and we are going to see 2 players for SR fall during this very forward take from our defensive squad, so it works in their favor. However, there was 1 trade, and our Jet is sub-half health, so that's a little bit of a scary situation to me. And however, they're going to be able to get at better weapons. They're also using a neural to figure out where people are at. Yes, there's plant points going in favor of Shopify at this point in time, but for an eco round, YFP, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, very good for YFP. I mean, they managed to take out 2. They're up a little bit, but the knives have been used, and that's a very low Jet. But wait a minute, Sarah, that's 1. And there's 2 coming out from YFP, leaving only 1 remaining. Sarah has to get a 4K this round, and the bomb's being tapped. The players are pushing in, and the timing is going to still manage to work out for Elaborate's sake. And yeah, YFP will tie it up on a pseudo-eco buy thrifty thing. It was all over the place, but they made it work.
Oh, it was creative. That is the only way I can put that last round by. I know that they had a plan to execute. I think it would have been avoided had they just planned a little bit better when they had the Operator for the defensive round and played for retake rather than playing for forward positioning early. Hopefully we don't see that again. However, looking at this 4-4, I don't know. My earlier statement of we might be seeing a repeat of an 18-20 type of situation going on is slowly starting to come alive with how quickly YFP and SR are adapting to one another's playstyles for each round.
Let's see how this playstyle is going to work out with some decent opportune moments with this very aggressive push. Look at how stacked B is right now. A kind of left solo, and unfortunately, SR was not able to make a lot of space during it. So as we see a Harbor rotating back, there's a chance that they can get onto this point without too much issue here, but they have to be quick. It's all about timing and all about the unknown narrator. They have no idea how much free space is going to be here.
Unfortunately, it's taking them a decent chunk of time to get in, so it's allowed all of YFP to rotate back as Sarah has fallen down to Scary Shark, and we have Corrupt going up towards Tower with Jet in tow. We see the Cascade roll past